right, we are live on the Country versus Metal podcast with Canaan Bryce.
What's up, man?
And I got that right finally.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I don't know if it's too early to get into the album talk, but have you ever met Josh Serrato before?
Josh who?
Josh Serrato.
No, I don't believe so.
He's Co's basically his auxiliary player. He plays guitar, piano, like extra instruments, and he's also a producer. He's produced pretty much all my music, and he records down at or produces at Melody Mountain Ranch in Stephenville, Texas, where LJT is. Okay. So have you been to LJT yet?
No, and apparently I should. Apparently I'm slacking on that. Everybody,
you're missing out.
Yeah, somebody from the festival actually reached out to me, and it's just, man, I understand airplanes and how they work, but like I'm far away, and like I don't have like a lot of vacation time to really.
Yeah,
I would love to come down.
And I would say at LJT, man, start out with a Friday, Saturday, because that's a week-long event.
Oh, wow.
And it takes it out of you. It does. But if when you do go, they have a main stage. And when you're looking at the main stage, there's like a LED monitor where they do the video stuff. And then behind that is like a small building, and that's where his studio is. And that's where we've been recording most of our stuff whenever he's not on the road with Co. And I texted him a couple days ago, actually. I was sitting at the house just kind of thinking about music, and I was like, man, what if we did like an intro to the album? And I was texting him about that. And I can't remember where I was going with that. Yeah.
Intro to the album, LJT, and it's gone.
Yeah. But yeah, we're actually doing an intro to the new album with Josh, and we're thinking about getting Co's drummer Jared East. They call him Jay East. His name's Jared Easterling. It's gonna be like a skit between like two guys, and I'm gonna see about getting Jay East on it. And I'm not sure who the next person is gonna be, but yeah, we're doing an intro to the album. I don't know where I was going with that, but
yeah, well, that's like old school, like doing like a skit or something. Do you have like, obviously, is this a vision of something? Is there like an album intro that like you're like, one day I'm going to have an intro like that? Because I have one that I think is one of the greatest intros.
Man, with the new album, I really wanted to do more skit stuff. We just don't have the time to do it, and I want to get it out to start this like new branch of music that we're going into. But the album's kind of like WWF themed, not WWE, but like back when it was WWF in the 90s. And you had like The Rock and The Undertaker and Stone Cold Steve Austin and the real Attitude Era type stuff. And that's what it's going to be called, is Attitude Era. And man, I really wanted to do a lot of wrestling skits leading into like, kind of like how Co set up Harold Saw High, where there was just like multiple skits in there. I wanted to do something like that and just bring some comic relief to like the new stuff, because I mean, I'm an idiot 9 times out of 10. So, and I was like, why not bring that into the music? And I wanted to do that, but I'm kind of settling for the little stuff. I'll probably game plan more on the next one.
That's interesting. Were you like or are you still like a really big wrestling fan, or just?
Hey. Right off the bat, yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin's been my person.
You just cut out.
Oh, you hear me? Check 1 2.
Oh. That was on me. Or you still there?
Yeah, I hear you.
Interesting. I hope it's still recording. New recording track created. Sorry. Changes in your devices. I was like, what? That's never happened. Well, it's still uploading. So yeah. So whatever you were just saying.
Yeah. So Stone Cold Steve Austin's been kind of my idol forever. I was a big wrestling fan, big Stone Cold guy. He was just like the country. He wasn't really, a heel, but he wasn't really a good guy, so to speak. So he like just kind of did his own thing. He played off what the hell he wanted to, and he kind of had that like not give a shit attitude. And then, the country camo, beer drinking, hell raising kind of thing. That's it's always been my strong suit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I used to watch like the WrestleManias and everything, and like I just remember like obviously like Ravishing Rick Rude and like the Canadian Earthquake and Andre the Giant and Hulk
Big
Hogan.
Andre.
And
Yep.
oh, dude, that guy, he's like a legend. When you grow up and you learn of like his lifestyle, it's incredible. And
Mm-hmm.
and he obviously when you're a kid, you're like, oh, he's so big, and then you get in that deep dive of just how huge he was.
Yeah.
And like, could you like he like used to pass out? Could you imagine like being responsible for him? And he's just like you would need like a bobcat or something. Just
Yeah,
that would
he.
probably flip over.
I don't know if you watch other podcasts at all or not. But there's a Joe Rogan podcast where he has Jake the Snake on, and he talks about a couple times. Back then, before the WWF was like massive, they were traveling in their own cars and whatnot, and just traveling with Andre was just wild because of how big of a person he was and how much food he ate and how much beer he could drink, because he was like a very, very, very big drinker.
Yeah.
And the Undertaker, I can't think of his first name. His name's something Calloway. But the Undertaker also did a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he said that there was like a 15-hour drive in between shows, and he killed like 5 30 packs and like didn't stop to pee once. Like
Oh
that's
my
how
God.
massive of a human he was. And
That's
beer cans would like be mini beers in his hands.
Yeah.
They said he was just a abnormally large guy.
Yeah, they say you put eggs through his rings.
Oh yeah, I can see that 110%. He has some big ass hands.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just a gigantic human being.
Yeah, he is. Feet of strength for sure.
Yeah. Dude, I can't. It's so interesting how that would be themed into your music. Because, like, if you were to put yourself in a genre, you would consider yourself Texan rock and roll.
Man, be honest, this new stuff's going to put us in a whole different category. We had somebody, we were playing in North Carolina with Pecos and them, and this guy said that we sound like Texas emo divorced dad rock. So I guess we're gonna take it and run with that. I liked it, and the skit that we're doing, we're actually putting that in there. Oh, that's why I said it. You said that you finally got my name right, and so in the skit, we're actually like the two people bantering back and forth. It's like one person's gonna say my name right, and then he's gonna like say my name how everybody says it, which is Canaan, and the other guys are gonna be like, no, Canaan. So it's like, not only do I get to do like a funny skit, but I actually get to tell people like what my damn name is, and people get it right,
Yeah. You should have a guest with Pecos too.
Oh yeah, right.
It ain't Pecos, it's Pecos.
Man, it's actually funny. Me and Pecos are like such good friends. Like I actually start telling everybody it's Pecos. People be like, "Are you playing with Pecos in the rooftops tonight?" I'm like, it's Pecos, man. It's Pecos. Get it right.
Yeah. Dude, me saying Pecos is what it people started fighting over Pecos, and other things. And it was funny, like people were like, this guy talking about me. We're like, this uncultural swine. And I'm like, dude, it's Philadelphia Electric Company.
Man,
It's Pico. I went for a job interview. They said, hello, welcome to Pico.
yeah, dude. If you haven't figured out, man, Texas fans are pretty brutal. They get after it for sure.
Yeah,
but
like, spell it the way, you know.
Well, there's actually a place out here, out in West Texas called Pecos, Texas, and it's spelled the same way. It's just everybody says Pecos.
Yeah.
We're all country folks down here, so
yeah,
it's just a part of it.
Yeah, I was on his tour bus, and I was like, "Hey, you want to make a video of how to say your name?" He's like, "Nope, I love it."
Let him guess.
I was like, "I got you," and that was at Highway 30, obviously. It was funny. It's like his wife came up. I didn't know it was his wife. She goes, "Hey, are you that guy from TikTok?" And I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "Yeah, Pecos thought you were the guy, and I figured I'd come over and ask you." And she was like, "You want to meet him?" I was like, "Yeah." And then like I got on the bus, and I'm like, "That's a big dude," because I had seen pictures, and like you never know until you actually meet him. But he was really nice. He was a cool guy, and like I feel a lot of people like dog him on live performances. I thought they were great at Highway 30.
Yeah, I don't understand it, but also he ran around without a sound guy for a really long time, and I think with his voice being so low,
I was gonna say like he has a very.
But the crazy thing is like he traveled for so long without a sound guy that knows how to mix his stuff, and people were bitching about it, and he's still just successful. So it's like, why are y'all complaining? Just like be happy,
dude. Like he definitely has those songs that like I still love to this day to listen to. It's
have you heard the new one yet?
He has a new one, or
the One Drunk Summer song?
No.
Dude,
when did that come out?
I can't remember if it already came out. It has to. The band's been posting it and with it in the background, so I think it has. I think it came out last weekend. But
really?
Dude, I heard it and I had to text him immediately. I was like, dude, that's a damn good song, man. Like he wrote it with a guy named Riley Thomas out of Nashville, and I got the pleasure to meet Riley a couple times. Solid guy, and he's also more rock and roll, like hardy-ish. He has the Nashville country, but also with the rock vibe as well.
Yeah.
But dude, you got to hear that new song.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I wish I wasn't cut to 58 seconds. I'll figure a way around it. But now when you write music, I know you've written songs with Pecos. Do you like to be solo, or do you feel like a second person in the room really helps?
Honestly, I'm just now getting into like songwriting with other people. I've always done my solo stuff. I'm one of those guys. I don't like to like force myself to write, and I know it works for other people. But if I force myself to write, I just feel like everything I write down is trash. Yeah. So like, if I ever like come up with a good line when I'm not inspired, then I'll just like put it in my notes and save it until I really like sit down and go, man, I really want to write something, or like, man, I got a good idea, or I got good chords. I usually try and get inspired first and then really jump into it. But when it comes to like, songwriting with other people, you're almost like forced to jump into it and do it. And I've kind of learned that, even though you don't sit down with inspiration, as you sit there and you talk with, your buddy, or you're sitting there playing around with the guitar with your buddy, like, once inspiration kind of happens, it's very, very infectious. Yeah. And like it gets you and gets him going, and y'all just start feeding off each other. And then, next thing you know, you got a song written. So I'm slowly starting to get into more songwriting. I'm actually leaving after we do the podcast. I'm leaving and heading to write with a guy named Mac Hankins.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Where's my brain gone? Or
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I did
And
that, and the video got lost. I really like. I could you guys, yeah, you guys have a
he's a
similar.
rocker, man.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I'm really looking forward. We've been talking about it. We've been friends for a handful of months now, and I actually found him on TikTok and hit him up, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I love your shit. If you ever need anything from me, don't be scared to hit me up. I don't know everything, but I've been in the scene a while, and I understood he was kind of new to the scene, and man, he's really kind of called me and texted me, and I've hooked him up with Pecos and a few other people in the industry to kind of help him get going, and he's kind of just doing everything he needs to right now to get to the next level, put music out. He's put himself around a lot of really great people, and he's just been really nice and easy to talk to. And we went to College Station one night and did a show together and got pretty drunk and had a good time. And
Yeah.
dude, we've been friends ever since. And we have busy schedules, so it's hard to sit down and write all the time. We've been talking about it for the last few months, but we're finally getting to sit down. I'm gonna head over there tonight, and then we'll do some songwriting tonight, and then I'll stay there for the next 2 days.
Oh,
And
nice. So you guys probably gonna bang out a lot of
oh yeah, we're gonna drink a lot of whiskey, and try and put some good music together.
yeah. Is that
Yeah,
is that what like a songwriting lubricant? Some of the hard
yeah,
stuff because
yeah, man. It's good. I've figured out, man. It's hard to get hammered and then try and write. You have to start writing and then get hammered as you go.
yeah.
And so it's like you get a good basis, and then you start getting drunk, and that's when all the ideas, start flowing.
Yeah,
And
I was a huge fan of Hunter S. Thompson. I always felt like he wrote his best stuff, like all
dude,
just wild turkey. Maybe someone called you. It's fine. It looks like we're back.
was so good.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully,
Wait,
that's what.
but dude, I looked into Hunter S. Thompson and his whole schedule of what he used to do,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah. That
I, yeah,
yeah.
he is. I wouldn't survive too long.
No. Yeah, I don't think I could buy breakfast. But like he would
Yeah,
like wake up and like jump in the ocean and swim like miles after with that night. Like no, because there was a
yeah.
couple times where he got stuck in like rip currents and everything. And
It
I
just
loved his writing, man, and I just I'm a huge fan of writing and like poetry and stuff like that, and I just everybody has a different process, and it's so interesting to hear people's processes. But yeah, definitely, like you just, they say it's a depressant, but now sometimes it like turns off all like the parts where you're like, did I cut the grass? Did I turn the oven off? And like it just opens up another thing of like, hey man, let's talk about this. It can
yeah.
really, if you use it in a way that's it's weird to say it could be medicinal and influential because
Hmm.
it absolutely can. Because especially if you're hanging out with someone you enjoy hanging out with, and the common goal is to, you know, rock
Make
the
art.
world. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like let's write the best song that we can. That's going to take us from this couch to stadiums. It's
absolutely
exciting
agree. 100%.
because
And
I
at the end of the day, it's art. I mean, music is art, and like, there's a million different ways to do it, and you just kind of get in where you fit in. And this is going to be me and Mac might hang out for 3 days and have absolutely nothing. It's just something you got to get in and figure out and see if you mesh together with someone else in songwriting. And Mac's all. I'm a fan of his writing and music and the stuff he has to say in his songs. So I think it's going to go pretty easy, in my opinion,
yeah.
just because we're both rockers. We both have that rock mindset, and I feel like we both got a lot to say. So I think it's going to be easier than usual. Same way with
Yeah.
Pecos, it's really easy to write with Pecos because you know me and him both know that you go in there and you don't wear your heart on your sleeve. You don't get offended. You just like, if it sucks, it sucks, and you got to take your friend telling you it sucks or not.
Yeah.
We went to so Pecos is signed to Warner Records, and we went to Sonic Ranch out and just outside of El Paso, Texas, and it was me, Pecos, Jordan Nix, and Parker Ryan, and Parker and Jordan are phenomenal songwriters. Like, they are very, very deep and elegant in the way they write songs, and I'm a big fan of both of them. And me and Pecos, we're rock artists. And, we write rock songs and heartbreak stuff. And man, we got in there and I got humbled so quick. We got in there and I was trying to throw stuff out. And Jordan, it was obvious that Jordan was just a top dog songwriter, and we all knew it in the room. And he was kind of leading the way. And me and Pecos would just try our best to put in our best input. But dude, Jordan's just such a phenomenal songwriter. We'd say something and Jordan would come up with something else, and we'd be like, I think we're gonna listen to Jordan on this one.
Yeah. You want to hear something funny about Jordan?
Absolutely.
He is scared of men with a lot of body hair. I wonder
Really?
if you're, yeah, as big as he is, I wonder if his beard intimidated you. He was telling, he's like, listen, I got to tell you, I was with Tanner Ussery, and there was this guy, and he had a lot of body hair, and that terrifies me. I'm scared of men with a lot of body hair. I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, oh, dude, terrified. I couldn't stop laughing. And he tells this like crazy story. And I'm like, man, you should start a podcast. He goes, I was talking about Tanner and doing it. And like, because that was at Mile Zero when he deleted all his music. And that was like the first thing I said, dude, what are you doing? He goes, I'm going to fix it. But yeah, like, dude,
I love that.
That's what he started off with. He's like, body hair. I'm terrified.
That's such a Jordan thing. He's like,
yeah.
I did
but
it.
I'm like,
my bad.
Yeah. And I'm like, but you got hair. I'm like, with a temperament like that, I figured you'd be like powder. Like,
yeah.
Not a speck of hair on it.
I mean, me and Jordan been friends a while, so I feel like he would tell me, we've been drunk enough together where he'd be like, all right, Canaan, I gotta tell you something, man.
Yeah.
Your beard scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jordan
tried to strangle me. What's funny is when I Googled you to try to get some background, it turns out your beard is more famous than you are.
Yeah.
You got your own beard oil. I was like that. It has to be the same guy. That's just such a unique name. And I click on it, and I'm like, yep,
that's him.
That's him. I was like, nice.
So I have my own beard oil, but it's through a beard company.
Yeah.
There's a beard company called the Bearded Pup. The Bearded Pup beard oil, and man, they got me. I whenever I first started growing the beard out, it was just starting to be kind of a part of what Canaan and Bryce was. I was like, man, it'd be cool to get a sponsor, and I reached out to so many people, and they were just like, yeah, like, we'll sponsor you, but you still got to pay for it, or yeah, we'll give you a discount code. And I'm like, man, that's just not the sponsors I'm looking for. Yeah. Like, I'm a broke musician. I'm trying to find somebody that's going to take care of me, and hopefully I get big and it pays off for them,
Yeah.
And his name's Ron Sawyer. He's the owner of Bearded Pup, and he hit me up randomly and was like, hey, man, I want to sponsor you. Let me send you a care package. And I was forever grateful for that. And now that I am, and that's back when I was, nobody. I was just posting like country stuff. And man, I've had so many people trying to hit me up to sponsor the beard. I tell them every time, nah. This guy, I'm very loyal. I'm loyal to a fault, and the bearded pup got me early on, so I'm sticking to the pup. And
There you go.
yeah, Ron with the bearded pup, he's always been so nice to me. Actually, Chase Sattlewhite from
Shane Smith.
yeah, Shane Smith. I actually uh I can't remember if he hit me up or I hit him up. I can't remember. I think maybe he had a sponsor and that they had either closed down or wasn't sponsoring them anymore. And he was like, "Hey man, you got a sponsor?" And I was like, "Absolutely, I do, man." And I hooked the Saints up with the bearded pup, and they've been friends ever since. And he lives up north somewhere. I can't remember. I think it's Ohio. So the Saints go through there pretty regularly, so they hook up whenever they go up there. And Ron's he's great people. He's self owned. He makes all his own stuff. He doesn't go through a different company. Like he sent me videos all the time when he was making the Canaan Bryce oil, and he was just like pouring it all himself. You know, very self made person, and I love that. I love the organic self owned businesses, and I don't think I'll ever. Ron's gonna have to get rid of me. I'm not getting rid of Ron.
Yeah, that's funny. That's cool. That works out. Now, is there a venue that you would shave your beard to play?
Man,
Because I know that takes time, dedication.
yeah. And I've had it, and that's whenever I
Yeah,
first got the beard, like, and it started to become iconic. I literally was like, I can't shave it. Like, you can't
yeah.
go anywhere. Like, if I shaved my face, I would be unknown. They would
You
show up to the
probably
show, and they'd be like, "Who's this
probably
guy?"
yourself too. You'd be looking in
Yeah,
the mirror like, who are you?
yeah. I gotta see this man every day. I ain't, I ain't seen my chin in 6 years. Man, I would say I feel like Red Rocks is probably the one that I would want to. Red Rocks or probably AT&T Stadium, just because I'm a Cowboys fan. Um, but probably an oddball. I think it's in Tennessee. I want to say it's a place called the Tavern. Have you seen it?
The Tavern.
It's like
Uh,
a hole in the ground, and you go down, and it's like all rock walls. You'll have to look it up after the pod. Uh, it's called the Tavern, and you basically go down, and they have like a stage at the end of the like it's almost like a cave, and just the way the lights hit off the rock walls is just amazing. It's a venue that I've been wanting to play for a really really long time. But the cliche ones would probably be AT&T and Red Rock, but
yeah.
the Tavern's like an honorable mention.
Yeah, that'd be a weird thing on the contract, but
Yeah, I would be a naked mole rat. It would be horrible. Because
so.
like,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like obviously you're more than the beard, but like your fan base, like as you probably grown them organically, they're probably as loyal to you, your music, and to the beard.
Yeah, no, the beard's kind of the end all be all thing, and like I feel like some people just come just to see the beard. To be honest,
they probably they were expecting like the aspiring beard grower.
it's hilarious sometimes because like
Give me your comb.
you figured people have enough decency not to grab my beard.
Oh,
No, dude, it's like a he has a beard. I think he would like this, and they just
that's
like mm.
no, no,
it, and it's
especially
like
not someone of your stature.
yeah, it's
No.
like and like Peg is a little bit bigger than me, but I'm a pretty big human. Like it's, it's like why would you want to? But it is mostly women. I will say that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of you just kind of like shake it off and keep going.
What's
It's part
funny
of it.
is I saw you from a mile away because of your iconic sunglasses.
Oh, the orange ones.
Yeah, like
Hold on,
I knew it was you from I was like a long ways out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recognize you and Gracie York from Sunglasses.
I will
And
say, I'm actually our new. I'll send you over the single artwork for the new, or the new single we're doing with the Weedest song, and it actually has me wearing the sunglasses, holding a twisted tea. So I'm really trying to push for the sponsor on the American Bonfire glasses because they're pretty top notch.
yeah, and like everyone's wearing what are they like the pit vipers?
Oh,
But
the
like
Pit Vipers.
everybody's wearing them.
Yep.
But I've only you're like the only dude I've seen wearing it, and they're definitely iconic. It was that guy. That's probably the first thing I told you when we met. I was like, dude,
That's
sunglasses.
literally what you told me.
And I was like, Dad. Because I was there by myself at one point, and I was like, dude, it's gotta be somebody around here I can talk to. And I saw it, and I just remember like running around. I had to go all the way around backstage to catch
The
it at
fencing?
the
The fencing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty funny. That was
Yeah.
that was a fun festival. Are you going this year, or you got shows?
Man, it just depends on the date. We'll get shows last minute sometimes. So if
Yeah.
I'm free, I might go. Shit, I might run up there with Pecos if I'm off. I don't know if he's on it or not this year.
I haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen actually the people. I've only known a couple of names that have actually been announced.
Yeah,
But I mean, tickets are bought. I'm going.
going
And it's-
regardless.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to go back to Texas.
Yeah,
So,
I talked to Gordy last year about it, and he was talking about us jumping on this year maybe. So yeah, who knows if someone backs out or maybe there's a spot open or I don't. Has he announced everybody yet?
no, it's very spotty.
Yeah.
There's only one headliner, and that was Thursday. Reckless Kelly.
Yeah, love Reckless Kelly.
Yeah, I've never seen them live. I've met.
Oh, they're legendary.
Yeah, I've met I one of them, two of them. I didn't talk to the one. Saw him. There's like the Braun brothers.
The Braun brothers, Mickey.
Yeah, I don't
There's
know
a-
that. Gary, is there Gary?
Gary Braun. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I think he either plays guitar in Mickey and the Motor Cars
that's who I met.
or Reckless.
Yeah, that must. I mean, it was Duval Street. It was late. It was Key West.
Oh
And,
yeah,
yeah. It was a good conversation. But yeah,
Duval.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was fun. That was
How
a lot of
much?
fun.
How much you drank out there in Key West?
Dude? I really try to keep it cool because, like, dude, I like to drink. I like to get rowdy, but like when I'm around like artists and stuff, I'm always scared like someone's gonna pull out their phone and be like, dude, look at this guy. So I like the first night, I'm like, I'm just gonna go out. You
Yeah.
know, like this festival's not going on, nobody knows me. So like I pre-gamed in the hotel to actually go out by myself because I do not go out to the bars by myself very well. Like I kind of like overdo everything, and it's just like. And then like people really stopped me on the street, like, "Oh man, dude, like, hey, what do you drink? What do you drink?" And I'm like, "Whoa, I've never been noticed anywhere." And next thing you know,
You're
like
Key
I
West,
ran into,
Florida.
yeah, I run into like Midnight River Choir, who I love those guys. And it's the first time I met them, and they were telling me stories. They're like, "Oh yeah, dude, you were like chugging drinks, laying on your back, and in the cab." I'm like, "We took a cab." I was like, "Dude, I don't." They're like, "Oh, you're cool, you're cool." I'm like, "All right." And like I wake up the next day, I'm like, "Man, this is exactly what I told myself I wasn't gonna do." I was like, I'm just gonna. I didn't know how expensive it was to go out, so
Yeah.
I'm a broke dude. After coming down to Key West, I was like, I'm gonna pregame here and just go out and ride the buzz. And then it was just like, hey, I met so many people, and I was just like, oh my god. And
It
then
happens like that, man.
And then I was getting nervous because I know like a lot of the people are sober, and I'm in there like, blowing beer breath all over the place, and I didn't want to come across as like unprofessional. And it was weird, but I was like, because I'm like kind of like I'm on vacation too. It's a weird like dichotomy I try to keep.
Yeah,
Like,
no, dude, don't overthink it too much because
I
90% of the time the musicians are hammered too.
yeah,
So it's like,
oh that's true. I went on a couple of missions to make sure some artists were. It was funny.
okay,
They're like, he's like, hey man, they a couple. Well, one of the guys from Midnight River Choir, he's like, hey man, we have a mission. I got to get these to this guy before he gets to the show. I'm like, okay, like let's do this.
jumping
But
little
yeah,
scooters.
yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't do any screwed. No, that was the one thing. It's funny, like I don't live at home with my dad. He always be like, now listen, you do not get on any motor vehicle. And I'm like, whatever, obviously, duh. But yeah, I was actually pretty good. It's funny, like I just remember the one night I got in the front seat of the Uber, and they're like the side eye. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I know, I'm sorry. It was like it was such like a cool like party, like anything goes. The festival, the Mile Zero Festival is like for the festival itself, the tickets are cheap. It's a great bang for your buck, but
It
man,
is.
staying in Key West is, I mean, it's an island, and they're
Live
not
more
making
island
any
time
more
out there,
island.
man.
Yeah, and just they can get whatever they charge. That's the thing. But
Yeah, the owners. I've met the owners, and the people that kind of help run it
yeah, it was
before. And
Kyle.
yeah, Kyle, big Kyle.
I was gonna say, like you guys have a similar look.
Yeah, yeah. No, we're both the same size for sure.
Yeah, and he's got a very nice
Beard, yeah.
beard. He must use the Canaan Bryce beard oil.
I should have hooked him up whenever I went a couple. I went, I think 2 or 3 years. I can't remember. And dude, one year I actually have uh, one really really cool memory, and it's from something that had something similar to this week. But uh, I went the year that Robert O'Keefe was headlining and Lucero was opening up for him. Do you know a band called Lucero?
Yeah,
So
dude.
yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, I watched that movie, The Bike Riders, and
Yeah,
at the end, I'm like, dude, this song's awesome. I Shazammed it, and I was like, oh, dude, I was like, that's a great song. I wanted to do a video on it. I just haven't got around to it. But I was like, like, it was weird. Like, I, Tom Hardy's a great actor. I really like Tom Hardy. I like the
hmm
movie, and then at the end, I'm like, it like normally like music in a movie I'll totally miss over it. And I heard that. I'm like, yo, this is a cool song. And then I was in it. I'm like, Lucifer. I was like, man, I've listened to a couple of their songs.
yeah,
And
you
I'm
definitely
like,
have.
yeah, I
Well,
was like, wow, these guys are good.
so whenever I was out there one year, Lucero opened up for Robert O'Keefe, and one if you're not a fan of Lucero or not a big one at least, then you don't know that Lucero fans are like a cult. Like at any point in time, you can walk into a Lucero show, and I did it twice last week. I I walked in there, and it was like the most misfit crowd you've ever seen in your life. Like there's bikers, there's like business people, there's your frat boys, there's just like your regular everyday Joes. Like Lucero doesn't have like a set fan base. Like it's just like a bunch of misfits that love good songwriting.
Yeah.
And I watched the Lucero set out there, and there was like a few thousand people at Mile Zero. And at one point, I just looked over the crowd, and it was just like only like a handful of people were just jamming hard as shit, including myself. And I was just like, man, y'all just don't understand what you have in front of you right now. And I might be biased because I'm a massive fan of Lucero, but we ended up getting, or they got off stage, and I went back in the artist lounge, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, and ex girlfriend at the time, and I ended up seeing Ben, the lead singer, standing in line to get drinks, and I was like, I want to meet Ben, but I'm scared. I don't want to bother him. And I'm
Yeah.
one of those guys. I don't want to like overstep. And she was like, stop being stupid and go do it. And I was like, all right. He talked me into it. So I went up and tapped him on the shoulder, and I know he's a big Jameson drinker. So I was like, hey, dude, can I buy you a Jameson shot? And he was like, nah, man, I'm going to buy you a Jameson shot. And I was like, even better. This went from like here to here for me. And we got to sit there and talk, music and songwriting and the music scene. And we took our shot, took a picture, went about our business. And it was kind of funny because Brent Cobb was backstage. And me and Brent Cobb have met a couple times over the years. And he was sitting with Adam Hood. And Adam Hood's a buddy of mine. So I went up and said hi to Adam. And Brent was sitting right there. And I was like, Brent, man, good seeing you again. He goes, good seeing you. He goes, I saw you were jamming out there out front. He goes, that crowd did not appreciate what they had in front of them. And I was like, I said the same thing. I was like, I was the only one jamming out there with like 80 people. I was like, they just didn't understand. But they'd also just put out a new album, the Among the Ghost album. And I don't think a lot of people were familiar with it because everybody knows their Tennessee album, which has like Sweet Little Thing and My Best Girl and a lot of their really, really big hits. And, fast forward a few years, I've been trying to get shows with Lucero for like ever since I knew I could do like the music business side of things. And this, a couple months ago, I actually got it approved to open up for Ben Nichols of Lucero. And it plays off the Bike Rider thing because they're doing the Bike Rider tour. I think they do it every year. But this year, they had Ben Nichols acoustic, and then they had Oliver Peck hosting, which, do you know who Oliver Peck is?
No. Oh,
He's
yeah. He sings that song "Drowning."
No. He's
Oliver Peck.
Oliver Peck. He's a tattoo artist. He used to be married to like Kat Von D. Oh. He's like a very famous like traditional tattoo artist.
Okay, yeah. There's like a country guy too that wears like a mask. I think his name's Orville Peck.
Oh, Orville. Yeah,
Orville.
I know who you're talking about.
Are we having a Canaan
maybe? But so Oliver Peck, he was the one hosting it, and he's like he was one of the judges. Did you ever see the show Ink Master?
Yeah.
So he was the judge. He was the shorter guy with the mustache and the toothpick. Always wore like the biker plaid shirts.
Yeah, I didn't watch it that much, but
yeah, he's a pretty well-known tattoo artist. But he's on tour with Ben, and he's hosting the Bike Rider thing. And I actually got approved to open up for him at the Blue Light in Lubbock. So I got to do that Wednesday. And it was kind of funny because we went to Dallas the night before. He was playing in Dallas. And I just bought tickets and went. So I went as a fan one day and then opened up for him as an artist the next day. And it was great. And me and Ben hung out in Dallas and drank way too much. I actually got I shed a couple tears on the way home. I went and dropped him off at Oliver Peck's house after his gig. And I'd only met him once before. And then all of a sudden I was like, hey, dude, opening up for you tomorrow. I just wanted to kind of introduce myself, before the day. And we immediately just kind of hit it off and started drinking. And we went to Adair's after that. And there was like an open mic night. And they were like, get up there. And so I did. And I was pretty drunk. And I was like, I'm probably going to make a fool of myself. But Ben Nichols is right there. And I'm a massive Lucero fan. So I'm going to sing a Lucero song. And I sang My Best Girl, and about halfway through, I opened my eyes, and Ben Nichols went from the back of the bar and pulled a chair up and was sitting right in front of me. And I was like, oh. And I got off stage, and he was like, I don't sing it as good as you. That's your song now. And I was like, you wrote it. I was like, that's your song for sure. And it was just cool because not a lot of people get to hang out with, the person that they look up to the most very often. And usually most of the time when they meet them, they're really not what they expected. But Ben was like more than you could ever imagine as an idol. And I was I'm forever grateful for getting the opportunity not only to hang out with them, but to open up, the next night. And
Yeah.
it's crazy, man.
Dude, you sang his song to him. I carry, dude, that's a great move. But man,
Dude, I
like
fangirl hard.
yeah. That's nuts.
I don't fangirl often. Like we opened up for like Winona Judd back in the day. We opened up for, you know, Brett Michaels of Poison. We opened up for him one time. Uh, in April of this year, we opened up for Scott Stapp. He's the lead singer of Creed.
Creed, yeah.
And like I've met like and opened up and shared music with like these massive people, but it's like nothing compares to Ben Nichols in my mind, because I was a songwriter before I was a singer, before I was a performer, before I got into music. Like that Tennessee album saved my life multiple times.
Yeah.
To a point where I feel like I owe Ben so much more. I bought him so many shots. He was like, you don't owe me anything. And I was like, man, little do you know, I owe you a lot more than you think. Not only like with music, but in life in general, man.
Yeah.
Your music saved me multiple times.
That's cool.
Yeah. Ben was like, if everybody was like Ben, I feel like we would have zero problems in the world. The guy's just a golden goose.
That's a great story.
Now I'm gonna stop fan. Well, I'm gonna do one thing. So that's actually I was hanging out with him and I was like, man, don't think I'm creepy, but I have your tattoo. So I have the Lucero tattoo on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever I'm playing shows, they can understand like, hey, he's a Lucero fan. And I showed Ben and he was like, that's crazy, man. And then I also have the Texas and Tennessee like headdress girl on my calf. And I showed him that and he was like, that's kind of psychotic. And I was like, I don't care. Oh man. But no, it was a good time and a good experience for me, and I got to share the stage with someone that I call, an idol of mine, which is just wild.
Yeah, it's great that he's actually, a great guy, because, a lot of people say, like, never meet your heroes. And I'm like,
yeah,
why wouldn't you want to know? And second, like, everybody I've met from the whole Texas scene, everybody's been cool.
Yeah.
It's funny when you're like, when I met you, I was at my fangirl moment because I wasn't approaching anybody, but I ran up on you. I was just like, I can't remember what I was doing. I was just kind of like lost. And I saw the glasses. I was like, I was all hopped up on brisket, mac and cheese.
Oh, that was so good. I ate some too.
Dude, I don't like barbecue. And people are like, what? Get the hell out of our state. But like all the brisket like you guys have up here, they'll shred it and cover it in barbecue sauce. So you're just tasting like brown sugar, none of the rub or anything. It's all, but down there, like you could get a piece of brisket like a Snickers bar and eat it like a candy bar. And actually, it's going to sound weird, I like meat. Like I'm not a big sauce guy. I like the dry rub,
Yeah.
Dry rub that meat. That's you know what I mean? But in Texas, you do it everywhere, and you seem to do it everywhere, right? And I also like, stuff that clogs my arteries. So putting them all together, yeah. And then we went to Heinz, and they had bacon burnt ends.
Oh, dude, burnt ends are the best. Burnt ends are my favorite.
Yeah, we have chains up here that's just put some salt on it and put some brown sugar based way too sweet sauce and shred it. And it's like eating a soup up here, but down there, it's like guys appreciate the whole process, the base of the whole, and I was just like, people are like, you guys would shred this? And I was like, yeah. It's almost like they would throw it in a crock pot, shred it, and you just be eating like, oh, it's soft, but
Man,
I got teeth. Let's use
there's
them.
three things that are religion outside of religion in Texas, and that's music, football, and barbecue. That is end all be all, man. We love our Texas football, we love our Texas music, and we love our Texas barbecue.
Yeah, it's funny when you talk football. Like normally, like when people ask me where I'm from, I just say Philly, and down in Dallas. Just saying that, people are like, "Well, you guys are." I'm like, dude, I don't know. I can't name an Eagle. I that like the last night I stayed at like the Cowboy training facility, and it was beautiful. That whole building with that chandelier, and it was like, I come up here and I'm telling people like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, really? Like, this isn't 13th grade. This isn't high school. We're talking, these are professional athletes that may one day be on your team, or like you get that better contract.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, see ya.
Yep.
So I'm like, I get it. It's not like high schools where like the quarterback is now playing for the rival high school, but it was funny when I tell people, and they're like, "Oh, what's Delaware by?" I'm like, "Well, it is a state, but it's you'll know this. It's by Philly. I was born around Philly," and they're like, "You're the enemy."
Dude, that is like man. I don't think we are. Are you an Eagles fan?
No, I don't really watch any sports. I can watch them and understand what's going on because I used to play sports, but like, I don't know. It's
really not Philly. It's really not even the Eagles. We don't even hate the Eagles that much. It's really just the fans.
Yeah.
The fans are some of the most diehard, disrespectful fans I've ever seen. The Philadelphia Eagle fans, man, they are. You see videos of like people wearing different jerseys. I don't know if you've seen those videos or not, but they are ruthless, throwing drinks, food, like just it's so bad. And I know Cowboys fans are pretty hardcore too, but to consistently get shit thrown at you as you walked into a stadium is like better than me.
Yeah,
I would wear a Cowboys jersey, and the first person to throw something at me probably not going to look the same walking out of there.
Yeah, in Philly, they threw snowballs at Santa. There's that video that always.
That's a very Philadelphia thing.
Yeah, it's like the vet. The vet had a courthouse underneath in the basement.
Did he?
But yeah, I've never been to an Eagles game. I've been to a couple of Phillies games. Can't tell you who they played. Can't tell you who they or if they won. But I was there.
Yeah, sports are definitely a religion around Texas. We take it serious.
Yeah.
Between baseball, go Rangers, world champs.
Yeah.
Cowboys gonna get us a championship this year for sure. Mavericks. Yeah. I'm a little pissed off at the Mavericks. They just kind of blew it, and they had a really good shot in winning this past championship, and they dropped the ball hard, and I don't know how. We have some of the best players in the league. Luka's like top dog, and I know it's probably gibberish to you. Not a big sports guy,
Mavericks, but I thought Mark Cuban, his team.
Yeah, Mark Cuban. Yeah. One of the smartest businessmen we got out there right now. And it's like, we can't win a championship with the smartest businessman we have. He's on Shark Tank.
Yeah. He's got a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Dope those boys.
You figured he would be the guy to be like, yeah, we can win a championship.
Yeah.
No.
Take 3 of these a day and you'll jump 10 feet. Isn't this for a horse, Mr. Cuban?
I will say the Mavs lucked out with Luka. He is our golden boy for sure. He's a killer. And he has a decent sense of humor, which I like.
Yeah. So I have a question. This one's for me. So just say you didn't know me, and I, didn't have this platform, but you knew where I was from, and I came down and I lived in Texas, transplant, and I started recording music, doing shows, and you grab my album, and it says like whatever my band name, Texas country or Texas blues, Texas anything.
Yeah.
Now is Texas a state of mind or where you're born? Feeling it, you see that, you know, I'm from Northeast.
Yeah.
And you said Texas. Are you? Do you go to like I don't know. I know I've seen you in a couple of interviews of explaining your passion for everything Texas.
Texas, man.
Yeah. What? How would you feel about that?
Man, honestly, I wouldn't be that mad at it, just for the fact that like most people that do come to Texas don't leave, and I know why they don't, and I'm not one of the gatekeepers of Texas. Like, don't come here, don't experience all the good things we have. I'm like, dude, there's a reason people want to be here. It's like we have a really good culture, we got really good food, got a good music. Like outside of the Nashville country scene, Texas is like the top dog. And the only reason Nashville's bigger than us is because they started a long time ago. Texas, we forced people to listen. Like it wasn't like, oh, every state gets a music scene. It was like, no, we're Texas. We're going to be successful, and you're going to be forced to listen to us. So it is a mindset, but I do have a law that you have to be in Texas 5 to 7 years to be an official Texan.
To be a naturalized Texan, at least.
Yeah, for you to go, man, I'm native. Like, you got to be here 5 to 7 years, and you got to experience Texas. You got to eat barbecue. You know, you got to say y'all. You got to wear your pants too tight. Blue jeans too tight. Not skinny jeans.
Yeah, you're skinny. Yeah, I made the mistake of not reading. I was at like a Kohl's, and I was like, "What?" And like, I felt like if I dropped something, I'd just be like, "Well, that's gone." Like there's no room for movement or anything. I'm like, how can people wear these things? First, I couldn't get my wallet in it, and I ain't got money, so it wasn't like a thick water. And I'm like, man, So then, like now, I have like if I find like a good boot cut, I gotta buy. But
Yeah.
So 5 to 7 years. How do you accelerate that, Ryan Bronx?
Man, dude, I mean, I would say if you come here and earn your keep in 3 years, and you just represent Texas, if you're not down here going, you know, Philadelphia made, you know, it's like you move to Texas and in 3 years you're pretty successful. You got to be like, Texas represent.
That's funny. Philadelphia made. I'm like, dude, I'm weird. Like, I don't know. Anytime somebody screams out where they're from, just like, because I've moved around. I say so much, but I mean in like a small area, and you know, some people like military families, they move like all the time. So
yeah,
but like I never really. When people are like, "Where are you from?" I'm kind of like, I don't know. You know, like I never really put stake in it. It's just because like I got a couple places on Google Maps I'll check out and be like, hey, I remember living there, but not like if this house ever comes up on the market, I gotta buy it, or you know what I mean? Like I just, but yeah. So,
well, so you're from Delaware, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's a pretty hard state to be representing from. Like,
dude, I love Delaware.
But you can't sound like hard with it. But where you from?
No,
Delaware.
Well, we're the OG. We're the first.
Yeah, you were.
Y'all followed in our footsteps. It's just probably that guy had the longer arm to reach across the table.
Yeah.
Sign.
I love that. That's funny.
It's like almost every Fortune 500 company is registered here with their LLC. It's like one address. But I just remember like when I lived down at the beach, like Dave Grohl vacations in Delaware, and like he would like go do karaoke and stuff. He had I don't know if he had a house here, if he owned it. I remember trying to buy an acoustic guitar, and here it was the dude from Bad Company. But it is a small state, but like it's nice. Like Baltimore is an hour, New York City is an hour and a half,
Yeah, that's
Philly's
not bad.
45 minutes, and you can, and especially for music, like if you go up the Main and you can go all the way down. That's like what I was telling like Dalton Domino. I'm like, dude, like I know you all haven't been out here, and I said, but the one thing the Northeast has is money. And I said, and there's bars out here. They're just bars. They pay 25 grand for 90 minutes. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, there's these businesses at these beach towns. I said, some of these beach bars, they have money where they can. The one bar like that we were playing at, they did like Throwback Thursday, and it was like lit and Living Color and all big names like that, and it just 25K, like boom, 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 like, and yeah, just and those places are cool because like the sound guy is still like cool. And my favorite is like, let me see the rider. I gotta know. I gotta know what they asked for, and it's just, I'm just like, man, that was like, that was one of the things I was like, one day, I want to be in a band that's big enough where we have a rider. Like, and if I open up that door and what I asked for is not there, I just, where's my 1,000 brown M&Ms?
I need my pink ones.
Yeah, and that whole story I hear like because their stage setup had to be so elaborate because like if it wasn't built enough, it would collapse. That they would put crazy stuff in it just to make sure people would read it. But I dated a girl that worked for Airmark, and she was a handler. And some of the things people asked for, I was just like, it's nuts. And I was like, the arrogance. But then you hear like Jerry Cantrell is like one of the coolest dudes in the world. And he's just like cold drinks,
Yep.
When I get there, whatever you can get me, it's cool. I just need a place to jam.
Yep. I love that. Simple.
Yeah, the first rider I was ever playing for, it was actually the first time I ever had Shiner, and that was his rider. He said I wanted to have Shiner. And I said, man, I was like, that was probably hard to find around here.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, because I went and the guy goes, what's it called? I was like, we have like a pretty, like people come from all out of state to shop at the liquor store down. I can walk there. And the guy was like, I've never heard of it. I'm like, well, never mind. But
right.
Yeah.
So they had to like either find it around there or like ship it.
Yeah, they actually did. And the guy was like, I'll order it. And I just kind of shrugged my shoulders like, yeah, sure. And next thing you know, there was one 6-pack. Yeah.
We would travel around, and I used to have a guitar player that only drank Lone Star beer. And he was like, if I ain't drinking Lone Star, I'm drinking anything. It's like, well, I'll drink for you, buddy.
Like I'm the same. I'm very brand loyal. I know what it does to me. That's why I don't drink liquor, because I do not know what version of me is grabbing the wheel. That's like I tell people, like, I'm like, listen, if you hand me anything like that, I'm not going to take it. And sometimes they're at a point where they get disrespected. I'm like, dude, it's
I know me. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it took walking into a room and seeing everyone sit in a circle, like, Patrick, sit down. We love you. I'm like, oh God.
Here we go.
Yeah. And that was bad.
I'll say this. If you ever like sat down with me in a night and watched me drink, you'd probably be like, something's wrong with this guy. And I don't know where he's putting this alcohol, but it is disappearing.
Yeah.
There's a place, if you ever go to Huntsville, there's a place called the Jolly Fox. And let me know if you ever go to Huntsville, Texas, because that's it's where Cody Johnson's from. He's from a town right outside of Huntsville, and he worked at the prison there as like a horseback prison guard. And there's a place in there that's had like Pat Green, Randy Rogers, Cross and Ragweed. It's just a legendary venue. and my buddy owns it now. And we're playing there here in a couple of months with a band called Blacktop Mojo. And dude, love Blacktop, love Matt, and the guy that owns it, Jared. He is like a really really good friend of mine now. But it seems like every time I go down there, he tries to kill me because he's really good friends with the owner of Humphreys. The owner of Humphreys used to own the Jolly Fox, and then he sold it to Jared, and so they're really good friends. So basically, when you go down to play either humps, you get sucked into Jolly Fox, and if you're playing the Jolly Fox, you get sucked into Humphreys. And so you start at Humphreys, and the managers are really good friends. The owner's my friend over there, so we'll sit down, and Jared will be over there, and it'll just be like 15 shots before you're even going over to Jolly Fox just to start drinking before the show. So you're already 15 shots deep over here, and then you go to the Jolly Fox, and you get about 6 more in before you get on stage. And then while you're on stage, they're handing you about 5 to 10 rumple shots. And then after that, you're drinking till 2 o'clock in the morning. And I've seen, there's been a couple times, I ain't going to name, I'm going to name some names. And it's going to be funny. So there's a guy named Hunter Castle. You know who Hunter Castle is?
No.
He's the auxiliary player for Pegasus and the Rooftops. And it was the Thanksgiving party. No, Christmas party. Thanksgiving party was before with somebody else. And that was with a guy named Trent Cowie. He's out of Houston. Really good buddy of mine. Fun. I think he'll either think this is funny or be like, but Trent had been driving on the side by side all day, and I had somebody back out last minute, and it was a Thanksgiving party. So he came to the Fox, and he obviously had never played there before. So we were doing like an acoustic song swap for a private party, and he didn't understand how it went, and it went exactly how I told you it went, and he was not doing too good. He survived all the songs, I will say that. But he was hanging out the window on the way home from from what I saw. And then, fast forward, a month, we were there for the Christmas party as well. And Jared hired me for both of them and just got whoever I wanted to song swap with. And it was me, Jay Statham, and Hunter Castle. And me and Jay are big fellas, and Hunter's, decent sized guy. But we had taken some. We had been drinking all day since we got there. Exactly how I told you, and then we had taken some magical things, and we did about. And I had never played before, like on shroomies, and I think he got about 3 songs in, and he was like, "Man, these chords are moving." He was like, "I'm gonna go sit in the green room for a little bit," and I was like, "All right, it's me and Jay, so we'll just keep swapping till you get back." And about an hour passed, and the bar manager brought me a shot, and I was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor? My buddy Hunter's in the green room. Can you just pop in and check on him?" And he said he opened the door, and Hunter was just face down in the couch. And he goes, "Hey, man, you all right?" And Hunter's like, "Yeah, man, I'm good." He's like, "You need anything?" He's like, "No, I'm okay." So he wasn't moving, but he was face down, and it was just hilarious. And we had taken a break and ran into the green room to check on him. And dude, he was just like, I was like, "You got this, man. You got this. You can get up. You can play this show. You're a professional musician. You got this, man." He was like, "I'm not good. I'm not good." And I was trying so hard to hype him up.
Can't sing with all these bats.
Yeah, dude. But Hunter's actually an artist himself, man. You should check out. He's a good songwriter. You need to check out some of his stuff.
Yeah, I'll
but
check
he was with the Rooftops, so I get to see him every now and then and remind him how dirty Huntsville did him.
That's funny. Now, seeing as you like Stone Cold and his drinking theatrics, do you have a trademark? Like, like Treaty Oak swings the
So
slinging beer. Do you have a?
yeah, so before Treaty Oak was a band, I did the Stone Cold thing at uh we played Rednecks with Paychecks, and it's just like, have you ever seen that before?
No, but
It is, I've been going to LJT for like 8 years, and LJT is just a monster of a festival. You get drunk, there's beers flying everywhere. Like, you stay up till 6 in the morning playing around campfires. It's just like everything that you expect a music festival would be and more. And people were like, Rednecks with Paychecks is crazy. It's crazy. And I was like, nah, whatever. LJT's the shit. Texas music scene, whatever. So we played it one year, and I was like, man, I told my band, it's going to be a little crazy. It's going to be like chicks in bikinis, like running around in mud pits. There's going to be monster trucks. There's going to be like tractor pulls. There's a thing called like the downhill Barbie toy truck thing where they just like, you seen that? So that's at Rednecks.
Yeah.
And so we get there, and it's like wild. And it's like during the daytime, it's wild. We get there at like 2 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm losing my mind right now. I'm eating my words, because this place is like, you could do a 360, and everywhere you look is just constant chaos.
Yeah.
It is the wildest stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Redneck Disneyland.
It literally is. It's just a massive piece of land with like dirt tracks, mud pits, just naked chicks everywhere. It's ridiculous. There's a pope. There's a dog with goggles. Like, none of it made sense. It was literally a fairy Adventure Time. It was an Adventure Time cartoon, basically. And immediately I got on my phone, and I've been waiting to play like a big wild festival like that. We hadn't played one yet. So I was like, man, I want to do the Stone Cold beer smashing thing. And I'd been wanting to do it for a while. And I was like, man, this is a perfect time to do it. So I immediately got in like the it's like a local shirt shop around there, and I immediately like called him and was like, custom ordered an Austin 316 t-shirt. I was like, obviously I can't get online, so I'm just gonna call them and tell them to make it. And they made it like within the hour. I had my buddy pick it up and bring it to me. I cut the sleeves off, and on TikTok you see a video of me, and I get out front, and I do the whole smash beers thing, chug them, chunk them in the crowd. The crowd goes nuts. And that's something that I'm going to start incorporating into our shows, especially with the new album coming out being WWE themed. It's just going to go in the contract, like, just so you know, if we're going to play your venue, I am going to smash beers, and it is going to be, it's going to be a Stone Cold thing, and that's kind of the part of the theme of what we're doing with the new album. Hopefully I don't catch any shit from the Treaty Oak thing, but this has been in my mind since fucking forever. And I've been a fan of Stone Cold since the beginning of time. So hopefully I don't catch flack for doing it.
Yeah. He probably learned it from somewhere, It's not like...
Yeah. I mean, he probably went to LJT too. I mean, that's kind of the thing at LJT is like, there's a thing called the Stephenville Spew. If you haven't seen it before, the best thing I can tell you to look up is Roger Krager. There's a song called Love. And it was just like a well-known thing in Stephenville. It's like when Roger Krager gets on stage and he sings this song, we're throwing beers everywhere.
Oh,
and I've done it many a times. And go to YouTube, and I think it's like Roger Krager LJT 2005 or like 2006 or 7. And it's just a video camera from like way in the back, and you see this massive crowd of people. And as soon as he drops on that song, it's just beer everywhere. and people are throwing bottles and cans. Well, not bottles, just cans. They're just throwing cans everywhere, and it's just like you get chills. You get chills from seeing it, and you're like, "Damn it, I want to be there." And people from Texas are lucky enough to experience it.
Yeah, it sounds
But
like the mud fights at Woodstock with like Green Day.
oh
But
yeah,
just with
that's exactly like it. But it's more Texanized, I guess. I don't know if
yeah,
that's a word or not. But and now it's kind of crazy because like now it's turned into like whenever Coe plays, it's like he has so many good drops in every song. It's like he like the last time I saw Coe at LJT, it was like every song or every other song he would drop down and just beers would go everywhere. And then the next song you figure these people run out of beers, but they don't.
yeah,
They don't at all. They're just like, we're just gonna bring an extra 30 racks so we can just throw around everywhere.
yeah.
It's a very Texas thing to do, I guess.
Yeah, he's coming out here. I wonder how the crowds are going to be for him out here.
Oh man, that's his fans are feral. I would say his fans are pretty cutthroat.
Yeah, obviously in my circle, and nobody has ever known who he is. But like, I'm trying to think. He did sell out the one show, so I'm glad I bought tickets to it because I was talking to I went and saw Dylan Wheeler, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you're coming around with Co," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to every show I can possibly make." And there's only one where it's like, man, I'd have to like get off work and just, I hate to say it, it's my dog. That's why I couldn't go to Carolina to see you. And I'm like, hey, could you watch my dog? And they're like, no.
It's I got one of my own, so I don't blame you one bit. The bull. This is Knucklehead.
Ugh.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. I have a little guy. I think he was 23 pounds. I just took him to the vet, but he's insane. Like, he's nuts, and he's a lot. He was given back 3 times to the pound, which I wish I would have known. Like, I got him, and they're like, I come back for the first visit, and they're like, so what you have to do is you have to sign these papers, and we'll just relinquish this. I'm like, what? And they're like, oh yeah, he's been given back. This will be the 4th time. I'm like, well, that would have been nice to know. I'm 10 remotes. He was gifted from me for a girl I was dating. She had a 9-year-old, and we broke up. And I was like, well, I'm gonna take my dog. And she was like, you would take the dog away from a 9-year-old girl? I'm like, well, now you put it like that, I feel terrible. But nah, she called me. She was like, he ate the carpet. I lost my they upped my rent. I can't afford him. He's eaten. The carpet is gone because he would eat holes in the carpet, and just like I would be sitting down and like the lights would be flickering, and I'm like, what is that? And you hear, I swear his paws are insulated. He would chew right through it live, and I'm like, he was a menace. And then, like, it was funny. People were like, yo, I'm using that dog. Because I had 2 shock collars on him. And I was like, listen, he needs to get the message. And
You don't understand.
After the first zonk, he was like, he got down. And he was like, all right. I never want to feel that again. And after, like, training him, like, he could give Paul and other Paul. But if he doesn't want to come, he doesn't want to do, he don't do nothing. And he's just like a little, like, they think he's like a dashing like wiener dog with a Jack Russell, and he's a very good bad dog. But
hey, that's his world. You're just living in it, man.
Oh yeah, it's like I was talking to Jared Morris. And he's like, so selfish. Will absolutely run away for no reason. He's loved, he's cared for. Like I only keep the air on during the day for him, and it's expensive. And like, and I don't keep it at like 76. I keep it on like 72. And yeah, like today he ate. I bought two mats for his crate because he somehow he ate 40 rolls in 2 weeks. He was able to get up on the counter and he to eat. He's like 23, 20. As a grown man, I cannot eat a full pack of hamburger rolls. And he ate the bag and the rolls right through. He ate through the cardboard of a Kellogg's like like cornflakes box. I'm like, oh my god! And I'm like, how are you getting up here? And then
It's never ending.
yeah, and then I found out he was taking a couch cushion because he can open doors, but he just like I have to replace my doorknobs every couple months because he jumps up and grabs them with his teeth and swings his head. Like I found that he was taking, yeah, and he gets into the door, but like yeah, he'll take a couch cushion and push it up so he can jump more, and it's amazing how smart he is, but that's also so frustrating because I know he knows, like there is some decor of how he should be at the house, and he knows, but he don't care. He's like, "What are you gonna do?"
I feel like if I was a dog, that'd be me. If you'd ask, if you would ask my band, they'd be like, "Dude's pretty smart, but he's a menace. He's an idiot. He's a menace."
He's a terror.
Yeah, I terrorize my band. If you ever talk to my band, they'll tell you like Canaan Bryce is a menace to society. I was like my lead player. We were playing at Elk City, Oklahoma, and he felt it for sure because he left his phone on the bar. And if you do this really, this is just a thing for people. Don't do it unless
But
you want
I
to.
do it.
So if someone leaves their phone on the bar, you can type a code in wrong, probably like 4 or 5 times.
So you can lock it.
It locks it for a minute, and you have to be committed to it.
Oh yeah, you can.
And then you wait for the minute to go up, and then you press it again and lock it again. It locks for 5 minutes. And then if you wait and you keep the conversation going long enough, you can pick it up after 5 minutes, and you can lock it for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you will lock it for an hour.
Yeah.
So if you're good and patient and you're committed, you can lock your friend's phone for about an hour and a half.
Yep.
And
I do that at a guy at work. And yeah, he's just like, really?
or like I'm probably just gonna give all my secrets away here, but if you have an Amazon app, you don't need Amazon Prime. You can just have Amazon or just your local ice cream truck. They have the little square fart bombs. Do you ever have those?
Yeah.
And whenever you're going down the highway and you're driving or in the passenger seat and you have control of the windows, all you have to do is throw that thing down and let it pop and listen to everybody gag while you laugh your ass off in the front seat. And also it goes for the fart spray. There was one time I was in the passenger seat and the van we had at the time had like almost like floorboard blowers. Like they had blowers down by the feet that kind of went down the bottom. And we were heading to the hotel and we were all just drunk. And I can't remember who farted, but someone farted. And as soon as they did that, my mind clicked and I grabbed the fart spray and and it kind of smelled. So I just like continued to spray it in like the bottom airflow. And my bass player was like, damn, like, quit fart. And then it got to a point where the band was beating that one band member up because I just kept, he's like, it's not me. And I just kept spraying and laughing. That's the kind of menace that I am. I won't steal your car. I won't steal your money, but I will be a menace there for a little bit.
Yeah. I'll knock your iPhone.
Yeah. And it also, like, on stage, I'm also a menace too. Like, I'm a biter. It's just, I don't know why. I get drunk and I want to bite people I love. And when I'm on
band members?
Oh yeah. Like we'll be on stage in the middle of a solo and I'll just go up to my guitar player and just latch onto him. It's hilarious. And the fans think I'm just crazy. But it's like it's hilarious to me and my band. My band knows like I'll do it. I'll do it to like random people sometimes, and they're like, "He just bit me." The bass player's like, "Yeah, he does that." uh, it's all fun and games though. You never know. Like when you're around me and the band, you never know what's gonna happen. There's never a dull moment. I see some bands that sit around and like don't talk a lot, don't hang out with each other, and like just not me and my band, dude. We're a family. We're brothers. We mess with each other, maybe a little too much sometimes,
Yeah.
but it's always a good time and out of the kindness of the heart for sure.
Could be a lot of paranoia too.
Oh yeah.
Head on
Yeah.
a swivel.
My bass player, he bought these little. They're almost like black cats, but all you do is throw them. You don't have to light anything. You just throw them. And dude, we'll be sitting there, just like having a conversation, and it's like, pow, and everybody jumps. And I'm like, damn it, you got me again. So it is constant paranoia. If you're ever sleeping, that's another thing. If we're in a hotel room and you're laying on the bed, minding your own business, trying to fall asleep, I will get on the other bed and dive bomb on top of it. It is just, I don't know what it is. There's a video of me dive bombing off the dresser and just completely breaking it because I'm so big. I just fell straight through it and busted my ass.
That's
But
funny.
at any given time, if anybody's just minding their business,
Yeah.
leave it up to me to go mess with them, spice things up a little bit.
I'll tell you what, since I'm not on the road and I can live vicariously through you,
Please.
the bike lock around the neck. And just make them play the show with the bike lock. It's
like,
harmless.
get it off me. No.
Just
Do you just get a chain? What do you do?
it's a bike lock. It's like a solid piece, and it's big. It's supposed to go around a pole to the bike.
Like the big D ones.
Yeah. So it's gonna be noticeable.
And you can't pull it off this way.
No.
Dude.
Once it's on. Yeah.
Hector, if you're listening to this and you're watching this, you're getting it, dude.
Just playing the show and like, hey man, is that a bike lock around your neck?
I'm gonna do it on a big show too. We got a hometown show coming up, and it'll be decent.
Dude,
I'm gonna lock his ass up.
If I was in a band, I'd try to figure a way out how to like get a permanent dog cone on you. So you just they're like, yeah, my band's got jokes. And I'm like, let me give you the context. I like to bite.
Yeah. Dude, last one, it was a couple weekends ago. We were in Oklahoma again, and my bass player drank a lot for sure, and he took this like 18 like it was an empty pack of Coors Light, like the 18 packs, and he put it on his head and he was like, yeah, blah blah blah. And I like smacked him upside the head and he fell, and then I pantsed him and pulled his pants down. He was trying to pick it up and I was smacking him in the head over and over again. Then he'd pull his pants back up and I'd pull him back down. He couldn't see the entire time. Like that's the kind of stuff we do to each other any day of the week.
Like the Benny Hill.
Yeah.
just like the whole theme going on.
We played a biker rally. We played it was Sturgis, but it was Sturgis, Kentucky. They had like a smaller biker rally. It was like a few thousand people. Like it was like probably maybe 4,000. And in the middle of the show, I introduced my band and my other guitar player, Matt Gumley. Most of my band's either in a relationship or married. I'm really the only like solo flyer. And so I like to give them shit about like being married and having girlfriends all the time. But we were on stage, and I was like, everybody, this is Matt Gumley, guitar player from Fort Worth, Texas. This is his first biker rally. And the biker's like, whoa. And I said, also, he's a virgin. And they were like, wow. And he was like, what? But yeah, no, you got to have fun on the road, man. The road's already hard enough as is.
Yeah.
You don't make a shit ton of money. The best thing you can do is just have fun and be around people you love and have a good time. Spice things up a little bit.
Yeah.
The bike talk's a good one. I'm gonna do that to Hector for sure.
Yeah. It's harmless.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Dude, it not a lot of people know this. Maybe I'm getting like one of my favorite things to do. You can go on Amazon and you can buy boots for cars, like parking authority boots. They're like 60 some bucks, and like you can boot your friend's car.
Just go around booting cars.
Yeah, I remember like, how do I get a boot in my driveway? And leave the key on the back tire, but the initial shock of like this big yellow thing on it, and you're just like, unpaid tickets. You can even make like a Officer Bryce, and just I want to play a game.
The crazy thing is like I mess with my friends so much that I would be the first call. They'd be like, "Where is it?"
Where's the
I'm like, "What are you talking about? Where's the key?" My buddy, I just got back from College Station before we jumped on the pod, and my buddy's a menace like me. His name's Matt Lockman. He's like really, he's not in the music scene like business wise or like musically. He's like just really good friends with us and Dylan Wheeler and Gio, and we were talking. I helped him move the past few days, and one of the things he told me was that his friend left his phone out, and there is a bundle of like 300 rubber duckies that you can buy for like $60, and he got on his friend's phone and ordered this big ass bag of rubber duckies and got it shipped to his house. And he was like, "I didn't order this." And the funny thing is, he returned the duckies, but he didn't tell anybody. And like a week later, Matt called him and was like, "Did you get a package of rubber duckies?" He's like, "Yeah, I did. How did you know that?" He goes, "I got your phone and ordered them for you." That's the fun. That's what makes it fun right there.
Yeah. The spice of being on the road.
It's just like, man, it's like, oh yeah, we played a show here, I did good. It's a lot better than like, dude, we rocked out on stage. Canaan bit me for some reason. At the bar we were hanging out and we were getting drunk, and he put a box on my head and pulled my pants down and pushed me over. Like those are the memories you want to make right there. Those are the stuff you tell your kids, and they're either like, "Man, you're an idiot," or "You're wild." One of the two. It's like, what are you gonna tell your kids? You just played music? Like, no, it's boring. Like, dude, we played music and had the time of our life doing it.
So, have you ever like bit one of your band members and it looked like a hickey?
No, but
you gotta explain this.
I did bite my lead player's arm, like on the side, and I got like a really, really good chunk of it. And he was bruised for like, it was like week after week. He'd show up for band call and he'd be like, "Still there?" And the next week he'd be like, "Look, it's still there." And it was like a month. I bit him so hard. But the key, I've already told him. The biting's not going to stop. I'm sorry, the biting's not going to stop. Just don't pull away, because when you pull away, it makes it worse. Just take the bite and I'll release. Yeah. Don't let me bite you and then try and run away.
I never fancied you a biter.
There was one time where I think it was my drummer. I went to bite my drummer, and he was moving at the same time and didn't know, and just busted my shit. And he busted my lip up, and I was like, "Damn." It was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it though. I'd do it again. Obviously, I ain't learned my lesson yet.
I'd be like wearing long sleeves, like soaked in whatever you don't like.
And the funny thing is like I've done it enough now to where they're starting to do it back to me. So it's like they're like, all right, he's gonna bite me, I'm gonna bite him back. And and usually we're on stage when we're doing it. They're like, I'm gonna bite him first in front of everybody, so he hurts before he hurts me. And I usually wear the sleeveless shirts, and I'm usually like sweating 9 times out of 10.
Ugh.
So they'll go to bite me, and it's just a mouthful of salt.
Oh, it's like, yeah, like I just envisioned that scene of Along Comes Polly, where he's just
Yeah, that's exactly.
Man.
They'll try and bite me, and I'll just laugh. It's almost like I have my own like armadillo armor. It's it's like they bite me, and then right after that, he's still playing. It's like
I'd be putting on like that prison armor, just like rub myself down with butter, margarine, something, so you just slide right off.
just fucking oil yourself down. I just slip off.
Nice whack job there, Rook.
Yeah, that's funny. If they just got like mosquito repellent and just lather themselves up, and when I go to bite them,
hope you like deep there, Canaan.
get your mouth full of chemicals, brother.
Yeah.
It's a good time though. It's a good time on stage.
You taste lovely tonight. What is that? Great
Mosquito
coupon.
repellent.
Lathered myself.
Oh man.
Man.
Yeah. The things are a little wild on the road with us. I like I said, I like to keep it nice and fresh and fun, and if it takes a bite or two, so be it.
Have you ever bit Coetzel? Like a
No.
another bear?
Yeah, that's man, I always hear like the stories of co-wrestling as guys, and like doing the whole Fight Club in the tour bus and stuff, and I'm like, man, if you get me, because me and Co are probably the same size. I might be a little taller than he is, or maybe a little wider. I think we're the same height, but I think I have bigger shoulders than he does. But just to put us both on the floor in a wrestling match in the middle of a tour bus, it's like, dude, so much stuff's gonna get broken.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no.
Well, that's like Shane Smith said, like his wife like regulates how often he can hang out with Coetzel, because he said, oh yeah, I wrestled Co. Like it was like I forget the question, and he was like, he was like I wrestled a bear, aka like Coetzel, and he's like my wife was not happy, and she regulates the amount of times that we hang out.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
There's a TikTok I saw, and I sent it to my bass player, and he was like, "That's you." He was like, "There's two kinds of people in the world. There's people that haven't drank with me, and people that drank with me that never want to drink with me again." And that's it's just because of stuff like that, man. We'll get drunk and we'll start wrestling in the hotel rooms, and like I'm substantially bigger than my band, for the most part, and also I played D end, I played tight end, I played tackle in high school and college, and then I was also a cheerleader, so I'm like very agile too. So it's really hard, number one, to overpower me, and it's really hard to out smart me and be quicker than me, because I'm pretty quick for a fat guy, man.
That's funny.
My lead player always goes, man, if we ever got into a fight, I know I could run faster than you, but if you ever just got me in like small quarters, I'm done for. It's like, man, you're built like a female. I'd never hurt you. Oh,
that's funny.
Yeah, but between me and Co, I think it'd be a good little wrestling match going on. I know he played linebacker in high school, and we've hung out a few times. Great people, but if we ever got drunk and threw each other around, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah.
Just two grizzlies going at it.
Yeah, that like man, I got a bunch of tickets to see him. I've I didn't talk to Otis, but he was around. That was maybe the where we were hanging out at. He was with his family. I don't mess with artists when they're with their kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I was just I nodded to him. I don't know if he even knew who I was, but Mace Mason. I got to talk to him.
Man.
Yeah, Mace the bass. He's a cool guy. It was really cool where he came over and I was like, dude, that's awesome. That like first, you know who I am because at first I was like, I was like, like, and dude, Co Wetzel's music has like really like, I love it now. At first, it was kind of like it was different, and people were like, you listen to the wrong song. But now it's like after seeing him live in that show, it's just like, dude, I'm team Co. And then like there's this video of him like progressing through the years. Dude can sing. I hear a lot of people are like, man, he can't sing. And I'm like, no, I do like the vocal things. That dude can absolutely sing.
He's one of the best singers in our scene. I don't see how and nobody sees that.
Yeah, I was standing, I was watching him with Kat Hasty, and she just was like giving me background stories, and she just looked over, and like I was having my moment of like, whoa. And I looked over at her and she goes, he definitely should be more famous than as famous as he is. And I was like, dude, you ain't lying. It was like the flames came up and he was just crushing.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, this is amazing. It was, and he was following some great acts. And he came out and was like, hold my drink. You think that was good.
Yep, I've kind of, man, the best advice that I've given myself, through the years is just be undeniable. You may not have the best music, best business, best people on your side, but as long as you get up there and you're undeniable, like you're gonna get seen, you're gonna get recognized. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and what I liked about him, it was like he was being himself. He wasn't, you know what I mean? Like you can tell when someone's trying to like, like some people are a great hype man, but when you watch someone that's not a great hype man because their music isn't getting the reaction from the crowd that the artist wants, sometimes that can get like cringy, which I've seen that. I like here with like local bands and stuff, but like man, he just that was just really cool of just how
well, man, there's singers, there's artists, and there's entertainers, and the person that has it all, that's the it factor, you're a singer, you're an artist, and a musician, and then an entertainer. You have to know how to command a crowd. And like, it was really cool seeing, who was it the other day? I Prevail. I went to see I Prevail. It was Fit for a King, Hollywood Undead, Hailstorm, and I Prevail. Friday. And that the lead singers of I Prevail, because there's two of them, and they just command a crowd. Like, and it was really cool getting to see that and go, damn, man, like that. It's good because I like to think that I'm a decent front man, and I like to get the crowd involved and get them going, get them clapping their hands. If I tell them to do something, they do it. You have to have authority and they have to listen. That's part of being an entertainer. These people pay money to come watch you. That like you are the person, so you have to get up there and do it. And just seeing that band do it to a handful of thousands of people was like hell yes.
Yeah, and it's definitely something. It's like stand up. Like you got to start doing it, even if you're naturally funny. you might be terrible on stage, but the more and more you do it, the more you grind, the more you just, if you're built for it and it just comes naturally, it's going to just build without, having to need like theatrics and stuff like that. But then when you get to that point, and then you start adding that stuff, because that's when the money comes rolling in, and you're like, hey,
Yeah, I mean, you already got the bread and butter. Now
yeah,
you just need, the chips.
yeah,
You need the meat, you need the cheese, you need the tomatoes.
yeah,
But it all starts with the bread and butter, and you have to have that before you have anything else, or you're
exactly,
just gonna be eating a shit sandwich.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, that was a great festival. That was a cool venue. I've never been to like a NASCAR or Speedway, and just to see how big.
And we only took up a fraction of it, maybe.
Yeah.
And that was my first time. Believe it or not, I know I look like a redneck, but I've never been to a NASCAR. I've been to like dirt track racing, but that's on like a very small scale.
Yeah.
But the NASCAR, I walked in and was like, damn, this place is big.
Yeah, that was a cool like. Sometimes I don't like being in the cattle corral and the cattle chute with a bunch of people. But what the cool thing about that festival was, you can go upstairs. You go upstairs, and still see the big TV, and even go to in the stands. It was really nice to be able to like get away and then come back and then get crushed, and I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that, and it was one stage. That I've been to a couple places where it's like you have to like pick and choose who you want to see, and it's just like,
it's like all right there in front of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really liked that. That was cool, and I got to meet like people like you. That was like one of the few times where like Gordy was like, "Hey man," he said, "just don't walk out front on stage." And I was like, "That's easy," And then like the one time he looked over, I was backstage on stage, and I was like, "Man, I really hope." Because the whole reason why I went there was Giovanni and the Hired, and he got married that weekend, and I was like, man, it all worked out, but I was like nervous because like I don't know anybody, but I knew them. I'd hung out with them, and I was there, and I just remember walking backstage, saw Cody Canada and Tanner Ussery, talk to them, and then I look up, there's Milton. There's Jared, and I was like, like, and they're like, "Yeah, what's up, man?" And I was like, "Oh, thank God, familiar faces." I'd met Cody Canada and Tanner before, so that was cool. And Waves in April, and then that's when I was like, "All right, it's okay," because Steve was there, but he was having issues with his ankle and those steps. He needed his ankle like totally reconstructed, and he was like, "Man, I can't do these steps." And I was like, "Oh, I could barely do them," and they were intimidating. I was like, "Man, I just want to like slide down the railing,"
And just even walking up them, I can't remember who I was following, and I got big legs, so like I take big steps. But you put me on some stairs, that is not my strong suit.
Yeah,
and they was all the way up at the top, and I was halfway up, huffing and puffing. I was like, man, I may look like I can bench 350, but I'm a fat boy, dude. I'm gonna do stairs.
I should probably do some like Stairmaster. For the festival this time. It still won't be enough.
Get your steps in for sure.
Yeah. Get those rings completed.
Yeah.
On that iPhone that Canaan locked.
Oh yeah. Well, brother, man, I got a couple things to do before nighttime, but man, let's get into the album. I definitely want to talk about that a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, dude. Talk about it.
But yeah, so dude, the new album's more of like it's exactly what the guy explained it. It's like Texas emo divorced dad rock. It's like has the Texas rock and Texas writing behind it, but it's musically geared toward like alternative rock and more of your pop punk stuff. Um, we kind of released more like the country stuff up first, and now like the soft and like the soft rock, like Completely Incomplete was more like a soft rock type
Yeah.
thing. I wanted to,
It was like a soft ballad.
yeah, yeah, and I like writing soft songs like that, and you just never know when someone needs something like that in their life. So I do like writing those and putting them out for the people to hear. But everything we have coming up is going to be the more so the name of the album of like Attitude Era. It's, we have a song that has like some influence from um, shit Kings of Leon. We have stuff that's like more like Blink 182 ish. We have the dirty bass with the heavy guitars, very melodic, licks. Um, so I'm just really ready to kind of get into this because I grew up on the alternative rock, the Stain, the Nickelback, the STP,
Yeah.
um, and then I also grew up in the later of the alternative rock, like the soft rock, like and pop punk, Smashing Pumpkins, Blink 182, Foo Fighters. I grew up on a lot of that stuff. So we did the country stuff, we did the southern rock stuff to try and like make some noise in the scene. Now I just feel like I get to do what I want to do, which is more of I'm a massive pop punk fan and Creed, Nickelback, all the alternative rock stuff. That's kind of where I live my daily life. Whenever I jump in the car, it's either rap, rock, or pop punk.
Yeah.
So like it's gonna be a change of pace for sure. But that's why I wanted to choose the Attitude Era, just for the sole fact of like you haven't really heard like OKC was really the more the attitude of who Canaan and Bryce is and even that was a little more southern rock driven. But now you get the full attitude. You get the fact that I am a very down to earth person. I can write a very soft ballad, but on the other hand, I can be the f you in your face attitude kind of person, and we're just really excited to get this out. And I've already been writing for the next album, which is really cool. So it's going to be. We dropped $27, which is more of the Texas country rock stuff. Then we did Completely Incomplete, which is the soft rock ballad, and we're just gearing up for the new stuff. And not a lot of people know this, but we did do an acoustic version of Completely Incomplete that we're releasing later this year.
Nice.
And that one's actually the one that got the traction on TikTok. I started, 6 months ago. I had 2,000 followers on TikTok, and now I'm up to like 5.5, all because of Completely Incomplete. And
Yeah, it's a good song.
I'm ecstatic about it, but I'm kind of scared of if they're gonna take the new punk because they're falling in love with this love ballad, and so I'm like, man, I don't know if y'all know what you're getting yourselves into because it's just like a gang of women basically. Like I get a handful of men here and there, but it's like majority like women that fell in love with Completely Incomplete, and it's like
Yeah.
the next song we're doing September 6th, and it's going to be the Wheatus cover, and it's going to be Teenage Dirtbag. So it's like they're following me for this love ballad, but you're about to get like the in your face rock, and
Yeah.
it's
I mean, a
I'm,
lot
I'm,
of
I'm hoping they take to it well.
yeah. I mean, like the the hair metal, they rocked and they had the ballads, and I think there was a
A healthy balance.
yeah, they like the rock too.
Yeah,
So
I'm really hoping they get into it, and I'm about to uh back whenever I first started music, I had I watched a lot of like Texas country interviews, like William Cart Green and Randy Rogers and stuff like that. And in one of the William Cart Green interviews, he talked about um, Randy Rogers and how he made like a fake management company and like kind of booked and managed himself through that. And I was like 2 years into music, and I was like, man, that makes a lot of sense. I want to do that. So I made it. I made this company called Rough Road Management, and I called my buddy, and his name's Spencer Lancaster, and I was like, hey, dude, do you mind if I use your name as my fake manager? I just think you have a really strong name. He's like, hell yeah, dude, do it. And because I didn't want to use a fake name because they would look you up on Facebook nowadays and see if you're a real person or not. And Spencer Lancaster was just a really cool name to me. So I was booking and managing Canaan and Bryce through Rough Road Management as Spencer Lancaster. And once I started getting like some headway in the scene and making contacts, I kind of put that away. But now, since this is my first cover that I've done with Wheatus, so basically I was like, man, I think I'm gonna dust off because I'm still booking myself, I'm still managing myself, I'm completely independent, and I'm thinking about dusting that management company off and going to see if we can get Brendan from Wheatus to jump on the second verse of Teenage Dirtbag with us, and hopefully that works. I feel like that would be just a lifetime goal for me.
Yeah.
So
That definitely would be, yeah,
yeah,
definitely would be cool. So this album is just it's going to be true to who you are and what made you as a musician, and it's just when you mean you're in your car listening to what you normally listen to, it's going to be one of those ones where you're like, man, who's this? I like this song, and you go, it's me.
yeah,
Right?
dude, it's gonna be and the next album we do is gonna be we're trying to just transition slowly instead of just like going hardcore into it.
Yeah.
And I still love doing like the Texas country. I was built on Texas country. In my teenage years, I didn't grow up on Texas country, so to speak. But as I got into my teenage years with my brothers and cousins, they got me into bands like Randy Rogers and stuff, and I took very very heavy into it. But this more so just goes back into like my young life whenever me and my mom and my stepdad were hanging around the pool, and they had a jukebox, just like old school brown black boombox,
Yeah.
and they would put it on 97.1 The Eagle, and we'd sit there and listen to rock all day every day. We had a stereo system in the house, and it was just 97.1 The Eagle, and it's really getting back to the roots of like what I grew up on, not what I've gotten into. This is like what molded me as a young kid, and then you get older and you just appreciate it leaps and bounds of what you did as you were a kid, And
Yeah.
I'm really happy to get into that influence of things and also keep that Texas songwriting, because I believe that Texas has its own like scene songwriting. Like we just have a way of doing things down here that are just different, and I'm really happy to genre bend and keep that Texas country, Texas rock twist, along with digging into what I listened to around the pool, back in the late 1990s. I was born in '94, and at 4 years old, I was singing STP.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
it's
I'm
like,
all for it. That was a great time in
yeah.
music.
So I'm really digging into that, and our next album I think is going to go. I can't say for sure, but if we're easing with this one, I think the next one I'm going to go kind of full throttle on it, and have a lot of pop punk, a lot of. There's a song that I wrote after we got finished with the album, and I was like, man, I really wish this was going to be on the album. But I was like, maybe we can save it and put it on the next one. And I think we're going to do that. And it's very, very Blink-182, A Day to Remember-ish. And I think that's that's kind of what this album is going to lead you into. It's going to take you from the Attitude Era to, you know, the real rock and roll Canaan Bryce. And our show's always been rock, whether it be like Texas rock, Southern rock, and now we're just transferring into a deeper kind of rock, and you know, something that's been on a national level for God knows how long.
Yeah.
So we're just taking it and doing our own version of it, and giving that Texas influence, you know.
Nice, dude. I'm excited for it because that's
Yeah,
a great era to come from, and want to pay homage to it and show
yeah.
people your
We're
take
trying
on
to
it.
stay. We're trying to stay in the box, but get outside of the box at the same time.
Yeah.
And hopefully it does good, man.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully.
yeah,
That way.
September 6th, we're coming out with the Teenage Dirtbag cover, and I'm really pumped for it. And I'm gonna send you over the artwork we have to it, especially just me looking like a dirtbag. And but I also wanted to like take Wheatus and pay homage towards, you know, the Wheatus peeps, and so like the whole background is that like checkered yellow and blue. So it's a really cool little get together. I'm gonna send it over to you once we jump off.
All right. Look forward to it.
Absolutely, man.
Hell yeah.
Well, dude, thank you again for jumping on here with me and having some conversations and whatnot.
Yeah, man, dude. I had a great time. I hope catch you in person again.
Yeah, dude, you got to come see the live show, man. It's a riot.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you again, dude. And also, dude, without being said, dude, thank you for what you do for a lot of the Texas artists. I know you do it for artists all over, but I think you've really taken kindly to the Texas scene, and you treat us well. I remember that whenever you first did, I can't remember. It was maybe, or no, it was Back to You. Back to You was
Yeah.
the first one you reviewed of mine, and I was like, so and I've been a fan of yours for a while as well, man. So I appreciate what you do for us.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys being so nice to me. So.
Absolutely, man. And if you ever see us playing anywhere outside of Texas or in Texas, you just let us know. We'll get you taken care of, dude.
Okay. Cool.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm probably gonna go stuff in my face. To be honest, I ain't ate all day.
All right. But yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll text you too.
Absolutely, man.
So yeah. Thanks for jumping on, and I'll be talking to you.
Absolutely, man. We'll see you soon.